Liv, your emotionally exhausted, chronically online host. And every week we talk about life, relationships, internet chaos, bad decisions, awkward moments, and all the things that spiral way faster than they should.
Huck, tonight we are doing something very specific and entirely unhinged. I will read my worst first dates like children's bedtime stories. Picture a tiny lamp, a plush unicorn that judges you, and the phrase, "And then he asked if Mercury was single."
Here's how this works. I read the disaster like a saccharine bedtime tale. Soft vowels, slow cadence, all cozy. Then I jab it with the exact kind of sarcastic commentary your loudest friend would whisper at 2 a.m. This is comedic, anonymized, and meant to help you feel better about the human circus we call dating. No names, no receipts, just theatrical cruelty for good vibes. Teaser, one of these dates brought his mother to the appetizer course. I am not kidding.
Story 1. The Guy Who Loved His Mom More Than Me. Once upon a time, in a booth the size of a confessional, there lived a gentleman named, well, let's call him Mr. Mom's Favorite. He arrived on time with a smile that said, "I have curated my opinions from a Facebook comment thread." He ordered soup like it was a family heirloom and mentioned, with the gentlest pride, that his mother texted him a grocery list during our appetizer. It was the sort of text that included specific instructions about olive oil brands and a passive-aggressive reminder to call Grandma. He asked me, "Do you think my mom should pick my cologne?" And I answered like any rational adult, "No." But then he said, and I quote in the softest voice, "She knows me better than anyone." So there we were, me trying to decode whether I was on a date or an audition to be family approved. The night ended with him standing under my porch light saying, "We'll tell my mom this went really well."
Interlude, hot take, quick decoding. Red flag 1, you do not bring someone's mom's opinions to a first date advertiser. Red flag 2, anyone who volunteers that their mom picks their cologne is auditioning for co-parent. Moral of the story, if someone's primary relationship advisor lives 4 blocks away and also has veto power over fragrances, that's not a partner, that's a committee. Story 2, the astrology lecture that never ended. Once upon a very long time, in a cafe lit like a Pinterest fail, there was a man who believed your sun sign was the cheat code to your personality. He began the date with, "Are you into astrology? Because if your moon's in Taurus, we can't be together." Spoken in the tone of someone reciting a weather report. He had a chart printed on glossy paper, as if he might later laminate it and use it for crafts. He traced my birth chart and used words like retrograde and projection, as if those were flavors of ice cream. At minute 15, he asked very earnestly if my cat's placement on my couch indicated a troubled relationship with commitment. I nodded politely, which sounds tame until you realize he then pulled out a laminated list titled Deal Breakers by Element. The date concluded with him suggesting we harmonize our chakras via a walk through the park while he lectured the pigeons on Venus in transit. Confession and chaos. Okay, quick confession. I might have leaned into it. I asked him if his Mars was compatible with my snack schedule because my inner child is very crunchy. Why? Because curiosity is a terrible decision fuel, and sometimes I catalyze chaos for content. I also texted my friend a running play-by-play and may have suggested making our own, Liv's tolerance levels versus degrees of weird. The chaotic punchline, I went home with a newfound knowledge of where Mercury was last Tuesday and no idea how to date in the modern metaphysical economy. Roast and recap, rapid-fire mini-morals, because you deserve bite-sized therapy. For Mr. Mom's Favorite, do not accept candidates who bring a family committee to a salad. For Mr. Astro Professor, if your mood depends on a chart, prepare to be single when the moon sneezes. Lesson 3, if a date's personality file includes laminated sheets, leave before they offer to staple them to your future.
Lesson 4. Some people are auditioning for a sitcom called Please Call My Mother, and you are not the laugh track. And the ultimate hot take? We keep repeating the same mistakes because we love a story more than a stable human. We want to believe the train will become a subway and then a relationship. It won't. Sometimes it's just a very dramatic train that eats your weekend plans.
Final absurd bedtime line. So tuck in your emotional laundry, pull your coping mechanisms close like a scratchy blanket, and remember, once upon a time, there was a date who brought his mother and another who brought the zodiac, and together they taught me that romance sometimes reads like a weird children's pamphlet. Good night, and may your next match not ask if your childhood pets were aligned.
CTA. If you've got a bad date bedtime story that belongs on a guilt-free nursery shelf, send it my way. Anonymize the details, make it ridiculous, and maybe I'll read it on the show. And hey, if today's episode made you laugh or feel suspiciously better about your life choices, please leave a review and tell the internet we are allowed to cozy roast our trauma. Reviews help other tired humans find this dumpster fire lullaby. Stay chaotic. If today's episode made you laugh, question humanity, or feel slightly better about your own life choices, then my job here is officially done. Remember, bad decisions make great stories. Stay chaotic.